Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi guys, welcome to episode 137 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I hope this finds you well, and I genuinely hope the stories I tell and the mindset work is making your life better. It certainly is making mine better. All right, how many times have you heard someone say, "That's just how I am," or "That runs in the family"? How about when someone says, "I can't change it, it's in my DNA"? Well, it turns out that can be true, but it doesn't have to be true. We do have certain inherited genetic traits. And if we did nothing new or learned nothing new and stayed in the same routines and did the same predictable actions, then of course, our lives will end up just as our genetics were originally wired. But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, if we're not loving the way our life is headed, or maybe we don't want to live the life of our parents and our ancestors, then we can change it. Now, it means getting a little uncomfortable. But how many times have you heard that life happens just outside of your comfort zone? Turns out it's actually really true. In Dr. Dispenza's book, Evolve Your Brain, he says in order to change the course of our life, we either have to learn new things or we have to have new experiences. Now, like I always try to do with you guys, I'm going to be really honest and tell you my experience with this. There have been times in my adult life where I just wish time would go by and we would just be retired already, and I wouldn't have to be doing what I was doing. But I've already said that I am a confessed self-improvement junkie. So along with that thought of wishing time away, I also knew that that was not really any way to live. Wishing life away because I wasn't waking up excited for the day was kind of sad when I look back on it. Now it all boils down to I had stopped creating a life that I was excited about and kind of had fallen into a routine that stopped lighting me on fire. Now, if you feel that way, or if you feel bored in your life, I'm just going to say, I promise it doesn't have to be that way. I wake up excited about what I'm doing and what I have going on all the time now. Not every single day, but on the days where I wake up and maybe I got up on the wrong side of the bed, I know that once I have listened to my positive podcast, done my meditation, written in my journal, and then set an intention for the rest of the day, including what time my workout will be, I know I'll be back on track. That's my baseline. I do that every single day. I actually put it in my day planner, and it feels so good when I get to check it off as complete. It's a really good feeling. Now, living a wildly successful lifestyle is different from person to person, of course. And everyone has varying ideas of how their perfect life would look. But having good habits is so important because the days when we aren't firing on all cylinders, those good habits will at least keep us from derailing completely. And it does take time to create those habits, but you can create them. It just takes consistency. And we're not going to live the life we've been dreaming of if we just wake up and hope for the best. We have to live on purpose, think on purpose. It seems like that is getting harder and harder though, doesn't it? Well, it really is because it is getting harder. I was thinking the other day about what has changed in the last few years that has made the outside world seem so chaotic. And then it hit me. I was falling for the exact narrative that the media wants. I mean, they want us to feel like everything is chaotic so that we stay tuned in because you wouldn't want to miss the next crisis. Of course you wouldn't. Now, it behooves certain companies and leadership and the media too to have everyone sort of conform to the way they want you to think, or not think is a better way of saying it. Social media and 24-hour news is designed to keep us addicted. It's designed to keep us glued to our screens. And it really is a relatively new thing. I mean, being addicted to our phones. So really because of social media and the 24-hour news. And we're kind of just now waking up to the idea that maybe it's doing more damage than we think. But it's insidious, so it's subtle, and we don't realize it. So what do? I thought you'd never ask. Remember at the start of the episode, I talked about how Dr. Dispenza said that in order to change your life, you have to learn something new or experience something new. Well, I think it's time we all learn how to think on purpose. Now, I'm learning it right along with you, and I can't tell you how much better my outlook on life is since I stopped watching the news and paying attention to politics or the latest crisis. That's a huge chunk of time I've freed up to devote to things that matter, things that actually affect my life, like hanging out with friends or learning new ways to get my message through with video and cartoons. I'm having so much fun with that, and I'm learning something new. It feels like every single day. And now that COVID is almost in our past, we've started traveling again too, and even just experiencing new things in our own city without having to go anywhere. And on that, along that line, I like to add one thing. I don't know when we decided that Saturday and Sunday were the only days we were allowed to have fun without feeling guilty. I mean, go out on a Tuesday. Take a day off if you can and visit something cool in your city. Go have a new lunch in a new place. It might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but it is worth it. Okay, most of all though, thinking on purpose means realizing you don't have to be stuck in a life you don't love just because it's in your DNA. You get to change it. No one's going to change it for you, though. I mean, no one's going to come knocking on your door and hand you a solution. You have to make that call. And sometimes when people hear that, they automatically think it means you have to move out of your town or you have to change partners or something drastic. Remember from episode 134, you take you with you. Changing those things may give you a temporary high, but the same issues are going to pop up eventually. We have to work on getting ourselves in a good, happy place before we make any major changes. Esther Hicks always says, get happy, then. Now, my challenge to you this week is to come up with your baseline day. Come up with your very own baseline day. So that's 3 to 4 habits that you know you can accomplish and will without a doubt be able to do, even if you have to get up just a little bit earlier than normal. It's worth it, I promise. Now, you can copy mine if you want. Now, listen to a positive podcast, usually under 15 minutes, and then I do that while I'm making coffee. And then I meditate for 15 minutes. If I'm in a hurry, it may just be 5 minutes, and then I journal. Now, your journal could be just starting writing 3 things you're grateful for. Make it work for you and your routine. But remember, it may be a little uncomfortable at first, but eventually you will not want to live without it. Once you've chosen those 3 things, or 4 things, whatever you decide, that's your baseline day. Your baseline means every day, at a minimum, you do those 3 things. Stick with it and watch how it changes your life. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.